So this is what I'm dealing with. Somebody tried to repair it at some point, and they just kind of stitched it from the top here. Anyway, you can see that there's that other edge, so there's a lot of slack in it. It's overlapped, probably a ½ inch here. So after I cut this excess right here out, put it back together, this whole room has got to be restretched over there, and it's like every seam, every 12 feet across here is the same way, and there's just an excess. And the challenging thing is going to be there's plug-ins everywhere because this is a courthouse, like everywhere. So stretching everything is going to be quite problematic all over the place. But anyway, every bit of this area has got to be repaired, even all up behind here. See, all of them. Every seam is like that. There's a, see there? So, all of it. And there's no specific thing, so I thought I would bring everything this direction, because over there it's dead on a pattern, where over here it's just kind of at the edge of whatever. So I can stretch all this over this way. And then just look at the looseness there. Everything's really loose. Okay, so I've been working here at this courthouse for a handful of days. I'm getting closer anyway. What I've been doing, I've been reworking these seams, and there was wrinkles all over the place, and this is an Axminster carpet. This whole section here is all completely done. I did it in a double stick installation. There was no way to re-stretch this, because we have the outlets about every 4 or 5 feet all the way across the room in 2 rows. There's 2 rows of them. Here is a row, and then right by that plant, there's one, there's one. You can see just all down through there is those, so I could not stretch it. Let me show you some seams that have not been done. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. So here is one of them. You can see this. My initial investigation, I came up here and looked at this job before I agreed to it. And this is the seam. Oh, look at there. So this is the seam. You can see it's got some seam tape underneath of it, and the stitches too. So I feel like somebody tried, I don't know, maybe, I really don't know how they done that, honestly, unless the stitches are just cut. No, they're held. Anyway, a lot of these have not had seam tape under them. I didn't get to any seam tape. About half or about a quarter of one of these seams up here did, and this one down here did. All the rest of them did not have tape, but they all look like that. So I thought they was just coming apart, and somebody tried to re-stitch these or stitch them, because I seen that one back there with the seam tape. I thought somebody maybe just tried to stitch these up from the top to help it. You can see that they are, you can't hardly see, overlapped there anyway. So let's see here. There you go. So there's the bottom, there's the top. So it's overlapped a little bit, maybe a 1/4 inch, a little better. But anyway, they actually got a good edge on these for seaming. So a little bit extra in my opinion. We could have got a little closer, but anyway, and still not touch the chain stitch. But anyway, I had a nice solid edge to work with. And I've learned a lot on this job. So up here, this is actually not coming apart like I thought it was. What's going on here is these traffic areas here, right where people walk in these doors, and right between each row of those desks up there, and the main walkway right through there in the middle, it was all wore out, or I shouldn't say wore out, but definitely wore down. So look up here where there's no traffic. This same seam, then you can start to see the traffic where it starts to wear here, and that's where it starts getting exposed. You can follow that all the way down, right down there underneath of the pew. The seam looks good again. So look right here even, there's not a whole lot of wear right here next to the end of this pew, and it looks good. And then the traffic area between the pews, it's wore again, and then right underneath there, it actually looks good again. So what's going on? The seam is not coming apart. What's happening? And this is a wool Axminster carpet. So the way that wool breaks down, it'll look really good. It'll keep its pattern and everything just like this. This is super wore out right here. You can't hardly tell it because of what I'm fixing to tell you. The way wool wears out is the pile don't necessarily mat or anything like that. It will actually break down, like literally break in half, where a little bit of it, little piece by piece by piece, the nap will get shorter and shorter and shorter because it just gradually breaks down, literally. So what's happened right here on these joins is these were invisible, just like it is up there. But where the nap has gotten shorter and shorter and shorter, it has just shown the edge of it and the stitches and stuff like that, because the nap is super short right there, and it is now no longer covering up the seam. So I'm gonna try to look here. I mean, it might be just, golly, maybe a 1/4 inch tall right there. It's super short in these traffic areas, and that's, again, the way wool wears, it just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. Up here, where there is no traffic, a super nice, tall pile, probably a 1/2 inch or better. See if I can get this pulled over there, where you can kind of see. There you go. So, anyway, it's kind of hard to do. There you go. So there's no wear on that right there. Look how tall that is. This is a completely untouched edge because it's on the front of that. It's still nice and thick right there. 1/2 inch, maybe even 5/8. It's a good piece of Axminster. Now, again, over here is probably half the height. And again, that's what's caused this to wear down. And like I said, it'll look good. You can still see the pattern, super clear and everything like that, because it's not actually matting in or anything like that, matting down, getting more wore together or anything like that. Wool carpet will break and literally get shorter and shorter, but because Axminster's pokes in or tufts in different color fibers to make the patterns and stuff like that, it's still going to show its pattern no matter how short they get. The pattern is still there. So you can look over here what it looks like when it's completely. So right here in this doorway, that it is absolutely worn out. See that? I mean, that pile is like super short right here, and then it's just completely gone right there. And you can literally see the backing of the Axminster. That is completely wore out right there. No pile left at all, but I'm showing you this so you could see that the pile, again, will just get shorter and shorter and shorter until eventually it's completely gone, just like this. Now, this carpet may have been here 20, 30 years, maybe even longer, but the thing about wool carpet is it'll stay looking good, like I said, for the life of the carpet until it gets just like that. Patterns stay crisp and clean and everything like that. Well, I forgot what I was going to say there. Oh yeah, but once a wool carpet starts breaking down, it might last 20 or 30 years, whatever like that. Once it starts breaking down, it happens rapidly. It's like once it reaches that point in its lifetime where the nap starts breaking off and getting shorter and shorter and shorter, the wear and tear on it increases dramatically. It's like it reaches basically the end of its lifespan, and it just, once it starts here, it might go 30 years like this, no movement at all. Last 5 years, it'll go from this down to that. So once it starts breaking off and getting shorter and shorter and shorter, you can almost guarantee you got 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 more years. I kind of doubt it. I would probably say 5 to 7 years, something like that, or 3 to 7 years. They may not even get 5 years left out of this, but anyway, what I'm doing to correct this, I cannot stretch it, so I've actually doing this in a double glue installation. I'm pulling it back, screwed all the floor down, folded the pad back, glued that down, then I glue the axe to the pad. That way I didn't have to worry about any of those plug-ins not lining back up or anything like that. And I am using a double stick tape, making my seams again. Let me see if I can find one. I just did one right here somewhere. I think right here is actually one of my seams. So I got rid of, even though it is wore out, it wore evenly on both sides, obviously. So I was able to, again, it's glued down, not going to move. And then I got my double stick tape right up through here, and I used my iron on that. Yeah, this is it, because right here's where I used my mini stretcher to pull the seam together. Right here's some marks, and right here's marks where I was cranking it together. This is my seam right here. So I'm able to trim the edges off, latex it real good, and make the seams look like they should look without all of the backing showing or anything like that. So visibly, it looks 100% better. But again, I did tell the people here, you know, you might have 5 or 6 years left. But again, what I'm doing, I'm trimming all the excess off here, latexing it first, trim the excess off, latex it again, and then putting it back together. I've done that to all of these. This right here is another one. Another seam right here. Another one. There's a whole bunch of them through here. It's hard to tell now where they're at, but anyway, there's five seams, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4 seams up here. 4 seams up here on this that I've done that too. I pulled the stitches out, glued everything down, and then used my double side or my double stick tape. Let's see here. I'm not having any luck finding these seams. I guess that's a good thing, but I was just wanting to show you. Let's see here. I think this line or this line, so it's either going to be here or there. Okay, I don't feel like there. Okay, this feels a little hard. So right here is one of my seams. Right there. So anyway, that's what's going on. I felt like that was the best decision in order to get this fixed up without stretching everything off or anything like that. I still got that portion, the rest of the portion down there to do. And up here, I got this whole platform here that I'm on is all complete. And then I got this section here all the way down through there. Oh good, I'm glad to see that break in that. I've never noticed that before. So I got a break right here and I don't have to do that. That's good. So yeah, just this little section here, right here, and then that little section right over there. We'll do that. And then I'll finish up down here. Good, I'm really happy to see that. And then, like I said, I got all the way to this rail. Everything from here over is glued and fixed down here on this side. So I've got about half of this left here, which is good. And they said it wasn't bad enough to worry about anything up on this section because it gets very little traffic. So I did notice a little bit of wear right here on this seam. So I did pull the stitches to approximately right there, and I redid this seam here just with a double stick tape. I mean, I didn't use double stick tape on that, just the regular Cool Glide tape. And that way, because I'm not going to be gluing that down or anything like that. Down here, I might have to do the same thing. Yeah, I probably will. Probably just go back to that first pew right there and get that, because you can see there, same thing is visible there. So that's probably what I'll do, just from the edge here back to the first pew right there. That's probably what I'll do. So anyway, this is a super old courthouse in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It used to be, Murfreesboro, Tennessee used to be the capital of Tennessee. I did not know that. They got the same clock, the clock and everything like that downstairs that was here in the original building. I think I heard the security guard downstairs say that it was 1869, a clock from then. This is only used in meetings and stuff like that now. It's no longer used as a courtroom. Again, this whole building is now a museum. So just set up for meetings and stuff like that, town meetings and so forth. Anyway, just wanted to share that bit of information with you about Axminster carpets. Hopefully that will help you out at some point in time if you ever run into it. And see you on the next round. Until next time, FBSB's out.